Hello everybody out there, welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. As you can see, I'm starting this video out a little bit differently than my normal videos. I'm in my little corner office studio. I just wanted to show my face and give a personal thank you to my subscribers. I've gotten some new subscribers lately, and I just want to say thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I know everybody's time is important these days, and I just want to thank you if you spend your time watching my videos. Give a little personal thank you for that. So today's video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a landscape. I don't do too many landscapes, or I haven't done too many landscapes on this channel yet. I really enjoy landscapes. So I am going to be painting, try to do like a loose landscape of a picture that I took of a rainforest up in Washington State, the Hoh Rainforest. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you guys just heard a noise, my air conditioning kicked on. It's so hot. Ooh, here. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. And again, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, here we go. So this is one that I did previously of this picture. It's on a 4x6 piece of paper, but I wanted to redo it a looser style. And this is a journal that I just made, actually a watercolor journal. And I wanted to go ahead and use it for this painting. It's on a approximately about 5x7 piece of watercolor paper. And right now I'm just sketching out the picture, kind of a very loose sketch. This paper is actually not 100% cotton. It is, I believe it's cellulose paper. I got it at a hobby store and I really like it for a non 100% cotton paper. It works really well to me. So here is the colors I'm using. That one is green gold. The first one, the second one is burnt umber. The third one is Paynes gray. And then I'm also throwing in there a Viridian green. And that is it. Those are the only colors I'm using for this painting. And like I said, it's going to be loose painting. You can see the reference photo on the upper left there. And the photo is, kind of turned out dark, as you can see, but you can really see the sun and the light shining through the trees in the background there. So when I did this painting, I wanted to really have a light, loose feel to it and that sense of light. And I kind of wanted to make it more of a golden color, because in real life, when I was walking through there, it was a golden color. There's a lot of moss and greenery, of course, because it is a rainforest, but the moss there has a green goldy hue to it, and it just didn't show up in my photo. But so that's what I'm trying to capture in this painting. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm doing the background. So there's a background, midground, and foreground with this painting. So I'm starting on the background, and I'm doing a wet on wet, starting with a really light wash of the green gold. And loose painting is not easy for me to do, painting loose, but I've been practicing it. I think I'm getting better at it. So as you can see in the very upper left corner there, I had my the first painting I did. So I was kind of using that as a reference a little bit. So here I'm using the moss. it was really a green gold. And so this part right here is kind of the midground of the photo. So I have a green gold and a mixture of the green gold and the burnt umber. And this was a limb that had kind of fallen, or it was a tree that had was kind of leaning over with moss growing on it. And this tree here was it was in the midground too. So this is a good practice for me um, for using values. And this here was a fern in the midground also. What's really interesting about this photo, I don't know if you saw, there's two main trees in the foreground, and the root system, the roots were kind of created like this bridge between the two trees. It's like the roots of the foreground tree on the left kind of connected with the roots of the tree on the right. And it was just amazing. Everything in this picture was in this photo was very detailed, of course. So I'm trying to not add so much detail to this, which was hard for me to do. But there, the background had dried, so I'm adding some of the trees that you could see through the background, or could see in the background, I should say. Here I'm starting on the first tree that's in the foreground. So all these colors work really well together. I wanted to keep it a simple palette. Here I am working on the fern again, which is the midground. In the photo, the light was shining down on the fern. And it was a bright green compared to the other greenery around it. So I was trying to make kind of emphasize that. This paper dries pretty quickly. I mean, besides me living in such a dry climate, stuff dries quickly here, but I noticed this paper, because it is not 100% cotton, it dries pretty quickly. But I was surprised how well it works. And I will put in the description the colors I am using in the paper, what it is. So here's the other tree that's in the foreground on the right there, and those are the two trees that are in the foreground that are connected by this kind of interesting root system. above the ground. It's if anybody out there has been to the Hoh Rainforest, you'll know what I mean. I mean, it's a very beautiful place. So I'm mostly working. Well, I wouldn't say mostly working wet on wet, but I'm doing a lot of wet on wet on this painting. And I'm also, as you can see, I'm also using like a damp brush to kind of take away paint too, to emphasize some of the lighter areas. And now here I'm starting the root system and or the roots, and it was so detailed for me. It was like I was when I was looking at the photo, I was kind of squinting my eyes, using that eye squint trick to kind of just see the main parts of the photo without every little tiny piece of root and everything popping out at me. But the one thing I tried to emphasize was the shadows that the roots made. I'm using a mixture of Paynes gray and the burnt umber. I'm mixture of a lot of the color, mixture of those colors on my palette. Um, and after once that had dried, I just like a wash of the green gold, trying to emphasize the I was trying to make the light, make this painting seem light and golden, and the green gold does a really nice job of that. It's a great color. So I am using a number 6 brush, I believe. That's my number 6 brush for most of this painting. I do come in later on to do some dry brushing with my number 12 brush. And then I also use a liner, or sorry, a rigger for this too, near the end for the branches. Those are the 3 brushes I used for this painting. So here I'm coming in with my bigger brush and I'm doing some dry brushing. I'm trying to create some shadows, of course, and then I'm also trying to create kind of a sense of bark on those trees. And I'm using a mixture of my Paynes gray and green gold. And here I'm trying to emphasize doing some dry brushing on the moss that's hanging down from that leaning tree there. Now I'm adding, there's a lot of branches all over, hanging all over in this, in the original photo, my reference photo, but I didn't want it to be too busy. So I didn't, do as many branches. As you can see, there's my reference photo, as there really was. That's the thing. When you're painting, you can do what you want with the photos, right? I mean, I'm kind of the person that I want to like paint exactly what I see, but I'm working on that because I know, it's hard to paint exactly what you see. Besides it being stressful, because you want to, get it perfect. It's just too much detail, too busy. I mean, there are some people that can do that, but that you're not with your for trying to paint loose. So here I'm just using my dry brush mixture of the green gold and the Paynes gray. I actually have some Viridian in there too, and I'm just trying to show how the kind of the moss was hanging down and off those branches. Now I'm coming in with my rigger and adding some of the Paynes gray, trying to create some contrast here, make the the foreground stand out more in other details of the drawing, of the painting, sorry. And I want to add a little bit of sprinkles to the bottom there, show the ground there and kind of blended them in a little bit. And I'm just adding a little bit of detail to those branches, those hanging branches, so you can see them against the light there. Okay, and that was it. Since it's loose, I thought I better stop. I like how it turned out. I think it turned out nice. For me, painting loose, like I said, is not easy. But I think it turned out pretty good. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, and please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.